What's going on, guys? Gomes here, back again on another MLB The Show 19 Diamond Dynasty video. Today we are going to talk about my 10 favorite cards within Diamond Dynasty. The 10 best cards that we have in the game, in my opinion. Now, quick disclaimer, I have not used every single card in this game. These are my top 10 players that I have used personally and could put a certified stamp of approval for my own opinion, and I think are very, very good. Some of the best cards in the game. Of course, like I said, I haven't used like Willie Mays, so obviously he's probably on your list. If you guys have used Willie Mays, I haven't heard really anything bad about him. So like I said, I have not used everybody. These are the cards that I've used, and I think they're pretty damn good. Let me know down below in the comments section who are your favorite players that you guys have used so far and would 100% 10 out of 10 recommend. So of course we are going to get into this one, and yeah, this is not necessarily in order, but the first one definitely is. Ichiro Suzuki is my favorite player in this game. You guys, if you've been rocking with me for quite some time, definitely know that. I did pick Ichiro with my first 75 overall XP pack, and I do not regret it for a second. He does everything fast as hell. Some of the best defense you're going to find. You can play him anywhere in the outfield, and he's still going to have diamond fielding. Pretty much maxed out arm strength, 113 vision, 115, 93 contact. Obviously, the power really isn't there, but my stats speak for themselves. Still hitting about 350 with him through 560 at bats, just about to 200 hits. He does have 7 home runs, slugging 455, 813 OPS. Of course, my OPS just isn't going to be that high because I don't walk that much, only 7 walks, which is not a downside of this card whatsoever. I've only struck him out 11 times in 560 at bats. He is just so good. He's been my leadoff hitter for this entire time. It's kind of interesting because this kind of shows a season, 157 games, about 560 at bats. It's kind of a season for Ichiro, about 200 hits. So I'm really happy with this card. Tremendously defensively. I don't think he's really made any problems, any issues defensively, and like I said, an absolute cannon out there as well. Ichiro has been so damn good for me. And then for a second, I think this probably is my second favorite player in the game. It's going to be Clayton Kershaw. He was the third guy I picked in that pick, but Clayton Kershaw has been phenomenal. Of course, a lot of people probably picked him first because 99 overall signature looks like the sexy pick. Ichiro is only a 93 overall, so I definitely see why people pick Clayton Kershaw first, and for good reason. Through 91 innings pitched, I have under 2 ERA with him, whip under 1, 83 strikeouts and 91 innings pitched. That says a lot for me. I don't because you guys know, especially how the game is this year, it's harder to get strikeouts than it probably should be because you don't really have to be on the ball to make contact with it, foul it off to keep it alive. You can be very late, very early. I don't care what they said with the patch. It didn't change anything. The game still plays exactly the same. They didn't change that, at least in my opinion. Maybe in World Series Legend difficulty that's changed, but he has 3 complete game shutouts for me, 8 quality starts. He is just so damn good. I don't think he's done much hitting wise, but that's not really a big deal. 10 walks and 91 innings pitched is not it's not terrible. It's actually pretty decent for me. 114 stamina, of course. This guy's stats really speak for themselves. The 12-6 curveball is so effective. He throws about 96, 97 on that four-seam fastball. The curveball is deadly once you mix those two in. So Clayton Kershaw, really, really nice right there. Another guy still in my lineup, Tony Gwynn. He was the first guy I picked within this diamond pack. Of course, the max XP signature series, maxed out contact, maxed out vision, about 70 power, 91 fielding, 92 arm strength, 90 speed, 96 stealing. This card is insane. The only downside to this card is the power is not the best, but I still do hit the gap regularly with him. And then of course, if you do put him in a secondary position, he's going to drop down to gold fielding, which does suck because I rarely ever have him in right field just because of my positioning, how I like it. And he has made a couple not so great defensive plays because of it, but through 469 at bats, hitting about 310. He does have 18 home runs for me in that time, 39 doubles, 6 triples, so he definitely hits the gap a lot. Compared to Ichiro, he obviously hits for a lesser average, but he swings a lot hotter of a bat. 224 ISO right there. Really no complaints. Once again, I've struck it out only 4 times with him. Like I said, the maxed out vision and the fact that the game, how it works, you don't really have to be on it. but it definitely helps. Tony Gwynn has pretty much a huge PCI against anybody, even against like Nolan Ryan, who's like the biggest PCI shrinker in the game. Tony Gwynn is just phenomenal. Do not regret picking him first as my first max signature diamond whatsoever. This one we are going to dip into the live series, and this is not like a signature card. This is actually going to be Cody Bellinger. Now, I personally love Cody Bellinger in this game. I do not have the 95 overall. However, I did use him in BR. This card, of course, is insane. 82 speed for a guy who could play at first base pretty decently with 65 fielding is pretty absurd. 111, 98 power, 65 vision, 113 contact righties. I just had 4 at-bats with him, I guess, but I did hit a home run and I was 2 for 4, so very small sample size, of course. But Cody Bellinger, his live series, now he started as a gold. I really started using him once he went up to diamond, and I do not regret it. He's always been on my bench. I started him for a period, hitting about 290, 15 home run slugging, 636, 961 OPS. He has been probably one of the most clutch guys that I can really say is on my team. He's hit so many huge home runs to tie the game up, bring it into extra innings. I cannot say enough about Bellinger. That 78 speed really helps him as well, because he has the power and the contact to strike the gap regularly if he doesn't hit it over the wall. And then, of course, he's always up on inside edge, and his overall just keeps going up because he's just playing so well in real life. So Cody Bellinger is definitely my favorite live series card that I have used this year. Phenomenal power, great card, nothing bad I can say about him whatsoever. Going back onto my, I guess I could have just looked, I wanted to show you guys the 95 overall. Frank Thomas is another one. He's only been with me for about 200 at-bats, hitting below 300, but he does have 15 doubles and under 200 at-bats, 10 home runs, and he usually does hit for pretty high contact. And honestly, another big plus about Frank Thomas, which I did not think I was going to say, he's elite defensively. The only problems I ever have with Frank Thomas defensively, if it's a ball going, you know, he has to run over the shoulder catch, it's barbecue chicken at that point. He's not going to make the catch, but he pretty much keeps everything in front of him. He has about 50 speed, which is pretty nice for him at first base, and then just such a big body, blocks everything down like a catcher at first base, knocking everything down, and can usually run it over there. Now that I have been hitting better in general on this game, I think my stats are really about to tune up with Frank Thomas. The only bad thing I can say about him is I don't like guys that are that big. 6'5" is pretty big, which means a huge strike zone, a lot easier for your opponent to just drop in a fastball, drop in a breaking ball, and freeze you for strike 3 if you're not prepared for it. But otherwise, Frank Thomas has been really good for me. Rich Gossage, probably my favorite reliever that I've used this year in my opinion. Stats are great, 120 hit in K9, 125 pitch clutch. Only downside, of course, is his walk 9 at a 62, and does not have the best control. You definitely have to be accurate with him, with your analog, with your meter, in order to be really effective. But 25 saves, only 2 blown saves in the time that I've used him, a 2.5 ERA. Usually he does great though. Only reason his ERA is so high is because there are a couple times where I just leave him in too long and he gets burnt, and that's kind of what inflates his ERA. But 57 strikeouts is pretty solid. I'm happy with that. Only 9 walks and 71.2 innings pitched for a closer that throws, you know, triple digits regularly. That is completely fine by me. I'm a big fan of this Rich Gossage. Like I said, I picked him within the first inning program, been with me the entire time, and he's the best reliever that I probably have used this year. I actually lied. There's another live series card that I do have on this list as well. And that's going to be George Springer. Of course, only an 85 overall. You might not have expected him to be on here, but my stats, oh my god. Keep in mind, I do not use any of these cards offline. I strictly make sure if I'm playing Conquest, if I'm playing anything, I have a separate lineup called a grind that I just put in players. None of these guys ever hit the CPU streets. This is all played online. And Springer, You know, a lot of this is through BR, a lot of it is through events. It's hitting 431, 6 home runs, 9 doubles, has a slugging percentage of almost 900, on base percentage of pretty much 500, slug, or OPS rather, of about 1400, ISO 466. He's just so damn good. The only downside is his fielding. He hits so well for me, I would start him regularly, but that fielding is just not great. I don't think I've really ran into too many issues, but I don't really want to risk it. 61 fielding, 65 reaction. I haven't noticed him drop balls, but in center field, you do need reactions, and he only has 70 speed out there as well, so defensively not great, but hitting-wise, phenomenal. Nolan Ryan is another guy who's I have mixed feelings on sometimes. He does give up a lot of walks, 24 walks in 98 innings pitched, which sometimes is my fault. I will admit, sometimes I'm not that on with my analog, but when the big thing with Nolan Ryan is you have to get that confidence meter up, and then he's just untouchable. You know, 109 hit 9, 125 K9, is going to throw 101 regularly. This card is insane. And then that 12-6 curveball is a great mix. I don't recommend to throw that like sinker that much. I don't have too much success throwing it. But if you're facing somebody lower rated, they're not going to hit him usually, unless like you just walk everybody, he has no confidence and leaves hangers right down the middle. Nolan Ryan is elite. I do have a 3.4 ERA with him regardless. Sometimes he is shut down. You know, 3 shutouts for me, 4 complete games. I did pick him before Kershaw. I do regret that. I think Kershaw is much better, but Nolan Ryan, for the most part, still has been pretty solid for me. This one is a guy not currently on my team, just for the fact that I did sell him because, you know, obviously it only made sense to sell these guys at the time because I sold him for like 100K. Now he was just down to 55. Of course, he's only up because of the stub sale. But Billy Wagner, I haven't really used him. Well, it's weird because if you guys watched my Billy Wagner debut, I pitched him for 9 innings in, you know, 9 separate games, and he did not give up a single run, struck pretty much everybody out. I only used him online for 4 innings, but he had 2 saves for me in that time, 1 strikeout. He's dominant. He's the best lefty reliever in the game that I have used. He is super solid. I wish it did show those friendly game stats. I'm pretty sure since we did a friendly quit, it does not count, but he actually has 13 innings pitched with me, not a single run given up. He is super solid. I cannot recommend Billy Wagner enough. And then the last one, I get to cheat a little bit. It is my creative player because I just want to talk about, I think balanced is the best for pretty much any cap. I'm going to say catcher or second base are the 2 best spots you can put him. Maybe shortstop. I know a lot of people do say catcher, and a lot of people actually rag on me for having him at second base. You know, it really is what it is. I'm a big fan of this Russell Martin so far. You know, 14 at-bats, 3 home runs. I'm going to keep him there for the time being, but you know, my cap, since I got the maxed out one, hitting 340, 15 home runs, 621 slug, OPS of almost 1,000. He is super good. 7 walks as well, really nice, and about 200 at bats. Like I said, balanced is pretty much the way to go. That is what my second base build is. I do have a creative player video, which I'll link up at the top right hand corner if you guys want to learn more about that. And if you guys are wondering about my equipment, make sure if you guys do not have this bat in particular equipped, this has the most power that you're going to get in the game. It has +4 boost of any other power bat, any of these other bat skins. So really recommend that you guys get that one. It's for 260 program stars in the 4th inning program. Otherwise, I only have gold equipment. I really don't have diamond equipment. I could maybe get it, but I think this gold stuff is really good as well. Obviously, I only have silver for like catcher because I don't catch, but overall, I think he's really good, and he is another one of my favorite players. A little bit cheap, but I do think he's great nonetheless. Like I said, let me know down below in the comments section who are your favorite players that you guys have got to use within Diamond Dynasty this year. Like I said, these are my personal favorites, and I want to hear your personal favorites as well. I'm looking to always try out new cards because I think that's the fun thing about Diamond Dynasty or any Ultimate Team style game mode, is to just try out all the cards that are in there and see what works for you. But if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to like down below. Hope you guys have a great day. There goes out.